It just seems very homemade, and this seems a little bit more store-bought, but like high-end store-bought. Hi, I'm Pauline. I'm a middle school English teacher here in Korea, and I am here to try the bars this week. I'm very excited. Over here on the left on the blue plate we have a pumpkin butter caramel bar, and over here on the right we have a apple cheesecake with some nuts as well. Alright, and I will be judging based on taste and texture, appearance, creativity, and maybe some bonus points if either of them blow me away. We'll see. I will judge first on appearance. I'm really liking the look of the apple cheesecake because I love that kind of rose layered look. I think it's really beautiful and really creative. I think it takes a lot of time to put this together. But at the same time, there's something very classic about the caramel pumpkin butter because it just seems very homemade, and this seems a little bit more store-bought, but like high-end store-bought. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So I like them both a lot. I think in terms of creativity, and appearance, they kind of go hand in hand. But for appearance, I'd say I like the butter bar for its simplicity, where it's more approachable. So I'm going to go ahead and give the pumpkin a 5. And I'm going to go ahead and give the cheese, apple cheese, a 4. Alright. Let's give it a try. Ooh, I'm excited. Right, I'm going to start with the, it smells buttery. The butter bar is very buttery. It's very dense. I'm not tasting as much caramel and pumpkin as I thought I would. Maybe I'll have to give it another bite. Really love the crust. Yes, very, very heavy in that you probably won't have more than one. But I think it does a good job in being a good bar. Delicious. I'll go with cheesecake next. Cheesecake bar next. Ooh, this was a little bit more difficult to grab. I don't really have the biggest hands, so this is kind of what it looks like over the top. You can taste the cheesecake and the apple. It's a little bit more chilled than the regular bar, than the pumpkin bar here. Yummy, yummy. All right. Oh, I love that. Let's do this. Creativity. I do like the creativity. It's almost, I think, for the apple cheesecake, it's more reminiscent of a tart almost. And I wonder if they're kind of close cousins. I think bars and tarts maybe a little bit more of a single portion variety. I love the layers of the apple. I think that's incredibly creative, and I think that's ambitious as well in a good way. I'm gonna go ahead and give that a 5 for creativity. And the pumpkin, I like the classic look of it, and I'll go with a 4. Texture-wise, I want to say that the apple one is less of a bar, more of a tart. So I don't want to necessarily take out too many points for that, but I do want to say it's less reminiscent of a bar, I would say. So I'd be comfortable giving it a 3, I think, for texture. I think for the bar, the pumpkin bar, it's a little bit more dense than you might expect. I think it's heavier on the butter and the flour, but it also, because of that, gives a sense that you're actually biting into a good solid bar. So I'm okay giving that a 4 in terms of texture. Taste, oh, I might have to take another bite of each of them just to double check. That next bite gave me a lot more caramel, a little bit more pumpkin, but I wish there was a little bit more pumpkin here. Like, this is very apple and cream cheese, and this is pumpkin, but it's a little bit more of a hidden pumpkin. And so I think just for that, I think I would take away a few more points, and give that a 3, and then go ahead with the apple. I really like the taste. Give it a 4. I think it's a little bit more cheesecakey, which I personally like, but I guess if you're looking for a bar, less of a cheesecake, then you might not actually opt for something like this. Another bite of this one, just to be sure about my ranking. Yes. Yeah. I think texture-wise, they're pretty comparable. I want to say that if I had to just choose a bar because I want it for dessert, if I was out on a date, I'd go for this one because I like the look of it. I think it looks really nice on a plate. I think if I was at home and I brought out some desserts for some friends to have more casually, I'd go for this one. So I guess it kind of depends on what you want, what you prefer. So who baked it better? Personally, I think I'll have to go. If I had to choose, I think I might give a couple more bonus points to the apple because of the labor that goes into it, I think. But I think that's a personal preference because I think it more depends on if you like the aesthetic, if you like the look, if you like more homemade look. And a bonus, 1 for the pumpkin because it just tastes like home and it tastes really comforting. So let me just add this up real quick. I've completed the math in like 2 seconds. That was really fast because I'm very good at math. And the total for the pumpkin caramel butter bar is 17 points. And the total for the apple cheesecake walnut bar / tart is 18. Congratulations, pink plate. Yay! So who's? This one's hard because KJ knows me pretty well. Sarah not as well, but I think we still have had lots of small group together too. And you know that I have an affinity for especially cookies and all the good stuff. There is walnuts in here that I am not allergic to, but it's very clear that my husband is allergic to, and KJ does know that, but maybe she put it in to throw me off, we don't know. And KJ makes a lot more homey type cooked baked goods, and I haven't actually had a plethora of Sarah's baked goods except for I think mainly your cookies and your pie. Oh my goodness. I'm tempted to say that Sarah was the one that made the apple cheesecake. I think I'm right.
You are correct.
Sarah's apple cheesecake bar won this round.
Yes.
Thanks, Sarah.